Hey there, everybody. I hope you're having a cool day in your little corner of the world. Been having a pretty cool day myself. Not talking about the weather, just talking about the vibes of the day. It's been a pretty nice day. Got quite a few things done, and it's just been one of those days where the vibes are just right. Yesterday, I was going to talk about something that I've struggled with, which is feeling like I am not chosen. And it's not much of a struggle today. Sometimes it is. Sometimes those feelings come up. The root of the feeling stems from fear of being abandoned, fear of being alone, or fear of not belonging, right? That feeling of not being chosen. I will preface this by saying that I'm very grateful for my family and for my friends. And I know I have their unconditional love. However, with my family, I didn't choose them and they didn't choose me. And with my friends, well, we did eventually choose each other, but I've known them for so long. Most of my close friends, I've known them for so long, and we have so much history together, and we still get along to this day. But it doesn't really feel like I was chosen, if that makes sense. And I guess it sounds a little bit conceited, but this is just how I feel, I just gotta admit it to myself. I have never really felt chosen. And like somebody actually decided to choose me. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm also talking about friendships and just interpersonal relationships in general. I guess it's mostly friendships and romantic relationships that you get to really choose or be chosen. So for a long time, and I'm going to define chosen, and by chosen, I mean feeling like, I was going to say feeling chosen, but I have to expound on that idea. The feeling of someone deeply knowing you, deeply understanding you, and most importantly, deeply accepting you, and knowing every aspect of you, the good and the bad. And even though they know both sides of you, they still choose you. And that's what I mean by feeling chosen, feeling like there has been a friendship or a close relationship like that. Like I said, with my friendships, the close friendships that I have today, it goes back from, like, I'm friends with some of them since high school or one friend early elementary school. But we live far away now, and we work in 2 different states, and it's hard, right? But I know that every time we reconnect, it's like we still have that bond. But anyway, I'm talking about newer friendships that you choose in your adult life, or relationships that you choose in your adult life, or feeling like you're chosen, right? I don't know if this video is going to make sense, because it makes sense in my brain, but I don't really know how to put it into words. I've just never felt like someone can accept both sides of me. So that was really hard. And it still is sometimes, but I feel like the feelings have definitely mollified a bit because I don't feel that overwhelming grief that I used to feel. And one of the ways that I was able to, and I'm not going to say overcome this because I still struggle with it sometimes, albeit it's less frequently and it's way better than it was before. The way that I myself was able to get better is through affirmations and meditating. I mean, these are tools that helped me, and so I don't know if they would help somebody else, but if you try these methods and they help you, that's great. I'm just sharing what helped me on my journey, or has helped me thus far, because I'm still, I still have days where I'm just like, oh no. But on a scale of 1 to 10, those feelings are probably like a 4. And so I don't experience these feelings as intensely as I used to. Affirmations really helped. Meditation really helped. Writing down things that I like about myself, and on the other side of the page, writing down things that I don't like about myself, and seeing both sides and choosing to love both the good things about me and the bad things about me. Seeing that list was good for me and good for my brain to start to work on that healing journey. I think the conclusion that I came to was that the most important person to choose me is myself. Now, I don't know if that makes sense. Really makes sense. And it didn't make sense to me in the beginning. I kind of just got that insight, but it didn't. I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you get an insight and you're like, oh yeah, that's a deep thought, but you don't really understand the depth of the download that you received. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I have. And sometimes I just don't know the significance of what insight I just received. So what does it mean to choose yourself? In my case, to choose myself. The most important person to choose me is myself. The answer to that question, the answer that I was able to come up with of what that really means, is to learn to love myself regardless of what I've done in the past, or my mistakes, or my shortcomings, or where I fall short, or my flaws. I always have to choose myself. Me. And I like to think back to that little girl that I once was. That little girl that went through a lot of things in her life at a young age. And so I choose her. I choose my inner child. I choose more than that. And I guess this has happened later in my journey. Who really is that child? And investigating who that child really was or really is to this day. I'm not talking about the physical child, like your physical inner child, or thinking, I mean, yes, it's a part of it, but like what goes beyond the child, if that makes sense. Don't think it really does. But yeah, just exploring the answers to those questions allowed me to understand what it meant to how important it was, or how important it is, to choose myself, and that's all that really matters in the end. To accept where I'm at, to accept reality, to accept the truth of this moment, even though this moment may not be what I want, or maybe it's not what I desire, or whatever it is, still accepting it for what it is. And I guess by accepting where I was at, not just physically, but also in my state of mind, learning to accept that, and I'm still learning, by the way, but I'm getting better at really accepting. By just accepting this moment and accepting where I'm at in my state of mind, I was also able to accept myself. Like myself, my past, my history, whatever it is. Just accepting myself. And I guess that's why meditation is important. Because when you begin to accept the moment, you begin to also accept yourself. Not wanting the moment or you to be any different than it is right now. So, those were my thoughts of the day. I hope you continue to choose yourself and accept yourself in your life. And if you're not there yet, accept not being there yet. Accept where you are at, knowing that things will change. What's that one? Who said it? Aristotle or Socrates? It doesn't really matter, but change is always constant. Change is always happening. I think it was Aristotle who said that. Well, it doesn't matter, but it's true. Knowing that things will always change, right? Right now you may feel like mush, but maybe tomorrow, or maybe in an hour, or 2 hours, you may feel better. You may feel like you're in a different state of mind, or even in a different environment. And accepting that moment. So, yes, this is a journey of accepting, isn't it? Well, I guess those are my thoughts of the day. I hope you have a great one. Peace and love. Bye.